I'm not sure if this is you or not, but have you ever clicked one more trade and then end up being glued to the screen? Now, most traders, when they overtrade, they end up giving back profits to the market. So today in Married to the Markets, we're going to talk about how we can avoid overtrading.
Hey guys, my name is Chrissy.
And I'm George.
And welcome to Married to the Markets. Like my husband was saying, we're going to talk about this over trading. But I have an article here from Forbes, and this is what they said. They said, according to Forbes, too much trading activity often leads to returns that are far lower than returns of a simple buy and hold strategy. And honestly, that hits because over trading is just like being in and out of the market, going outside of your plan, just doing too damn much.
You're just trading excessively for no reason at all. So sometimes it's just you chasing, or it could be just FOMO like we talked about last week.
Yeah. So for us, we notice that if we're over trading, we're just like emotionally a wreck. There's just so much going on and it's costing us money, what we don't need to be doing. The article said you end up giving back more profits. So if you're profitable for the day, why keep going back in? Why keep chasing those thrills?
That's what happened when you overtrade though. You end up you go against your plan, right? And now you end up where you're giving back profits. So back in the day, I used to overtrade. And what I realized is that when I make more than 2 or 3 trades for the day, and I'm talking about sometimes I used to make 7 trades, 11 trades for the day. For what? I have no damn clue, right? But when I take a look back at those days when I overtrade, the first 2 to 3 trades were profitable. And all I needed to do was get up from around the table, get up from around the screen and just walk away. But what I end up doing is chasing
the thrill of being in that
not
market.
only chasing the thrill, it's like, all right, I made this amount. What if I could make another hit? What if I could get another profit?
Because you feel like you just hit a certain percentage. I could do that again on the next one. Man, if I got 100% on SPY, man, what if I do 100% on QQQ or Meta? So I think you're always trying to outpace what you just did. And so for me, I just feel like it's just a fatigue. Like it gets so tiring when you're constantly over trading versus we have rules now. So we put into place our certain rules. But before that, you're looking at the screen, you're tired, your eyes hurt, your head hurt, you're hungry. Like it's just doing too much.
Yeah, I used to be. The crazy thing is there's times where I find myself I didn't eat until 4 o'clock.
That's wild when you think that is not healthy, okay? Do not do that. That is not healthy for the body.
Because I'll just be stuck to the screen. So that's why I asked, have you ever been stuck to the screen because you put one more trade in and that one more trade turned into another trade, right? Because you're just there and sometimes it's just being bored and then you end up doing something else and you start making decisions that does not fit within your trading plan. So you have to make sure that you know what overtrading is so you could actually identify it and
so you
fix
could avoid
it from
it,
early.
right? You want to be able to avoid over trading. You want to protect your capital at all means. In regards to avoiding over trading, for us, we put some ground rules in, just like in any relationship. You want to have some ground rules. This is like where we stand. This is what we're going to do. And for us, we said we're not doing more than 3 trades a day max. And the only reason we do a third is if we happen to lose on one of the other ones, then we know we have our 3 limit. But if we do 2 trades for the day and they're both profitable back to back, we are done.
Yeah.
That's why we say we have a limit for us being in the market from 9:30 to 11 o'clock. So we find our trades within that time and we get out.
Yeah. The thing that it comes down to is if you're disciplined in your regular life, you could be disciplined in your trading.
It's built over.
Right? So it's like when we're married. We're going to give an example because this is called Married to the Markets. We've been married for 12 years, been together for over 17 years, right?
Yes, long time.
So now when you're talking about us in marriage, why are we still together? And I feel like we created certain things in our relationship. We created certain rules. And you have to create rules in your trading. So what are some rules that we have in our marriage? One is if we have any differences, then, hey, we could be upset with each other for 24 hours, but afterwards you have to come and talk. Yes. That's just like if you're saying, you know what, if I'm mad at myself in trading, then I have to give myself to walk away or do something, right?
Correct.
You have to follow a certain plan. So it's the same thing, being disciplined in your life. If you're not disciplined in your life, you won't be disciplined in your trading.
Yeah, you got to keep your trading plan intact. right? You got to know what you stand for because you're going to fall for anything if you don't. So you just have to write these rules out early in your career so you don't start going down the bad habits, because it's easy to pick up bad habits when you first starting trading. And if you continue with those bad habits, it's going to like spill over for years to come. You're going to lose money. So in the beginning, if you're now starting out, just create a plan and just have that as one of your things on your list. How not to overtrade. Tell yourself you're not going to take, and again, everybody's plan is going to look different than ours. We're just letting you know where we feel, because we've done the research, we've journaled, we've analyzed, and we realize that our top 3 trades of the day are usually our best trades. After that, it
Get a little mixy, but the thing is, for beginner traders as well, you might not know what your rules should be, but you could learn from other people and learn from other people's mistakes. So what you want to do is say, if you come in and you're hearing everybody saying, hey, over trading basically take away profits we've already made, tell yourself, listen, if my first trade is profitable for the day, then I'm done. Tell yourself that. It could be, all right, 2 trades for the day. If I'm profitable, I'm done. And just keep it at that. But what you don't want to do, you don't want to come in and chase and get into the part of falling into FOMO. And now you start giving back profits. Now you start doubting yourself. Now you start saying, yo, this is not for me. And then you fall into that psychological stage where you just be like the mental stage of, yo, you're wired to, oh my God, it's time to give up. This is not for me. So you have to make sure that you're doing that, having a trading plan, but also now you have to protect your capital, because without capital, you can't trade.
But that's where you have the filters, right? You have a little checklist and you write it down. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what my criteria is. And so you know that you're keeping track because you have your book, right? You have your trading book or your journal or whatnot, and you're documenting and you're writing, because it's like, okay, dang, I just realized. Because sometimes you be in the mode and you don't even realize what you're doing, and you might click that button, but no, you look, see, okay, I still got another trade. Let me go ahead and put it in or not. So I just think having a little checklist really could help somebody if you're now getting started.
Yeah, the checklist is important. I remember a mentor of mine that used to say, listen, if these don't line up, don't take the trade.
Correct.
He's, yo, if you're feeling sick, don't even
Trade.
because you're not there. So if you get in an argument, don't go and trade, because you could do something that pisses you off, the person pisses you off. You're not in the right mental space. So you will take a trade that's not there, or you will try to find something that's not really there and it's not lined up with your trading plan.
But also having, like for us, we call it married to the markets, like my husband said, because we're married and we trade together. And we encourage those of you that are married to get your spouse and come and trade with us, because it's nice having your partner, right? Because you can talk about things and just have that safe space. Now, with us being married, we talk about the trades. So there are times where he's like, man, babe, I see this play. This is what's going on. And I'm like, no, we're done for the day.
Yeah.
And so we talk about this before we click a button. We got to decide, are we doing this together or are we not?
Yeah.
Because that's where the accountability is. Sometimes if you're sitting here by yourself, imagine on those days where you overtrade, was I near
that
you?
would have never happened.
Correct. I wasn't
That
there.
would have never
You were by
happened.
yourself. You're in your office and you're just going. You have the time. No. So now we don't. We have ground rules. We're getting up at 11 o'clock. We're only taking 3 trades out of the day. And there's just certain things in place for us to know we won't be over trading.
Yeah, some days we only take 1 trade for the day.
Yeah. Because if that's all we see, that's it. And if we got things to do, we're not going to trade.
Yeah. So it's all about being disciplined when it comes to overtrade, because if you have your trading plan, you stick to your trading plan, but also the accountability of that next person beside you. Not everybody has their,
Yes.
okay? So some people are trading by themselves. If they're trading in a community, that's where sometimes it could come in where they're over trading because they're seeing somebody trading
make
there,
profits,
somebody trading there. And then what you're starting to do is you're starting to fall into FOMO. You start seeing other people trades and then you'd be like, oh, I want to jump into that, when it's not even part of your trading plan.
Yeah.
I think if they just stick to their trading plan and having that partner or reliable person to say, hey, you know what? Somebody to confirm their trade. Like for us, you're confirming my trade.
And vice versa. We
A lot of
confirm each
times,
other.
but before the market even open, we say, hey, this is what we're looking at.
Correct.
So we'll have our alerts set and ready. So we have on the screen 2 to 3 main charts that we're looking at. And then if one of our alerts go off from something that we've already done since Sunday or in the past, then we'll look at that and be like, all right, this may look good to take because the other trades didn't happen yet.
But another thing to stop yourself from overtrading is to journal, because then you're going to analyze, was I bored? Was I chasing? Was I anxious? What was going on with me? Sometimes it's boredom, right? You're just sitting at home, like I said, but maybe you fill your time in with other things to avoid you from overtrading. So if you say, like us, okay, 11 o'clock is the hard cutoff, then you make sure you find something to do so you don't have to continue to sit there. Because if you're sitting there and you're bored, you're just going to be looking at the charts and damn, oh, I see a play, and get yourself caught up.
But journalism is important.
Absolutely.
And the reason why it's important is because when you journal, you find out what you're doing wrong and why you overtrade.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out that I need to stop.
Yeah.
That's why I find out, okay, when I look back at my trades and I say, all right, every time I see more than 5 trades, I'm losing money. But then when I look back and I'm like, all right, what was my first trade like? What was my second trade like? What was my third trade? I'm like, yo, I was profitable. And then I end up giving back profits. And sometimes I end up losing for the day. So no longer did I say, all right, you know what? There's times where we'll be on the live and we'll already do 2 trades for the day. But because we're profitable and another trade go off, we'll be like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, I'm already wrapping up. Once 2's closed out, I'm already wrapping up. I'm like, all right, sorry guys, we don't need to be on this live till 11. We can get off at 10:30 today. Everybody go have a blessed day and keep it pushing.
Yeah,
So
because you don't need to be around the computer all day to trade. Remember this, you're prepared for the market. So when the market is open, you're not just saying, all right, let me look for something. You're already prepared for the market to see what's going to happen. So when you see the play happen, then you take your play. But what people are doing is, all right, they see that trade, they take it, they may be profitable, and they'll be like, man, yo, I'm just $100 away from 1,000.
Those be the worst, y'all. Let me tell y'all right now, when you say, man, I'm only $100 away from that particular level, leave it alone.
Walk away.
Come back tomorrow and pick up that $100, because you're playing and you're already anxious and you're already playing in like a fair mode, and it's gonna clap you. Learn from my experience.
Yep, walk away. I always say just take a time, and if you lose, now we're talking about winning trades, right? So what happens if you lose your first and your second trade? Do you keep going? Because a lot of times too, what people will do is, all right,
You're chasing now.
I'm limited to 3 trades for the day.
Yeah.
Okay. And I took 3 trades and I lost on all 3 trades.
Then you need to stop. You need to evaluate yourself. First of all, you need to go for a walk. You need to clear your head. You need to figure out a plan for yourself when those days do happen. But journaling, asking yourself like just the basic questions: how I was feeling, what was going on, what did I see? Just start really analyzing, because if you lost 3 trades back to back, something went wrong and you really need to check yourself. But you got to step away. You cannot keep chasing, because all you're going to be doing is throwing your money away. And if you don't have capital, you cannot trade the next day.
Yeah, because the thing is, a lot of times you start when you lose and you lose 3 trades. Now you want to go bigger to make.
Yeah, because you're revenge trading at that point.
You're trying to make your money back at that point. So now you'd be like, all right, you know what? I don't normally take more than 3 trades, but I'm gonna go in bigger this time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and end up blowing your account. Don't do that, y'all. Don't do that.
I'm gonna end up doubling my size or double up my position, and then you end up losing. So that's why I said it's very important that you have the trading plan. It's very important that you have some kind of criteria before you take the trade. It's very important that you journal to see what you're doing good and what you're doing wrong, right? Is it that your trades in the morning is not profitable versus your trades in the evening? Those are things that you could look at. Not everybody trade in the morning.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. We choose to trade in the morning. There's people that say, listen, I don't trade in the morning. I'll trade in the evening. And it just depends on what you're trading. We trade options. So when we're trading options, there's 2 times of the day that you'll have volatility. You'll have either the morning trades or you'll have at closing to where you have some type of rally that happens. We have kids. We have a life outside of that. So we don't want to be stuck to the screen. No. When our kids come home, I want to be able to play with them.
Why we got into this, because we want to be able to have the freedom to do as we please, to travel where we want, to go to our kids' plays and take them to the dentist, spend quality time with each other just as well, and not have somebody telling us, no, you can't go here, or you need to put a request in. We wanted to live on our own terms. And the only way for you to actually be successful in this is for you to actually be disciplined and tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do, and stand 10 toes on it.
Yeah. Always say trade less, trade smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Trading less means that you protect your capital. You're not putting your capital out there all the time, risking it. But when you trade less, you're more likely to take a better trade. You're more likely to say, listen, you know what? If I have 2 trades for the day, I want to make sure that everything lines up. I want to make sure that if I have a setup and it has 4 criteria, if 3 of them hit, then you're hesitant because you know you only have 2 trades for the day. You want to make sure that those 4 confirmations happen.
Correct.
Right? Now, trading smart is making sure that, hey, I'm taking profit. I'm not waiting for anything to happen. I'm not waiting for it to go up here before I take profit. Maybe I scale out of my trade so that I know that the trade that I took was profitable. Even if it came back down, that trade was profitable. I took profit on it. I was right. But guess what? Because price pulled back and consolidated for a while, the contracts decay and now I'm not in profit. And you're more okay with that versus you didn't take profit.
As a beginner, you need to, because that's going to help you build the confidence, build that muscle. So then tomorrow you're excited, you can do it again. Small profits add up over time. And I'm not saying every day is going to be small, but something is better than nothing.
You have to do progressive overload. Just like when we in the gym, baby. Progressive overload. Like I don't go into the gym lifting heavy right away. Like today I was was lifting, right?
Yeah.
I was lifting heavy, but 75 days ago, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, we just finished up our 75-day
Right.
hard challenge.
Yeah.
And so we completely transformed our body. We're more disciplined, we're more focused. And I think that's something that you can do to avoid that boredom. Go to the gym,
Yeah.
go work out, find the activities that you find useful. But I really want to know, what is one rule that you're going to implement this week? I want you guys to do me a favor, comment below, just share with us one rule that you're going to implement. And for those of you that have been asking for a long time, we did come out with our Discord. It's a brand new Discord, Married to the Markets. We will have that in the description. Come on over and get to know us. And not only that, you'll have a community, a safe space where we all can just grow together. Grab your spouse and come on over, guys.
So until next time.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right, guys. Bye.